What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Berm, and today we will be taking a look at my 5 currently available Series 9 rental teams before they go away. I'm going to start overwriting some of these teams, and I thought it might be a good idea to make a quick little video. This is not going to be that long a discussion. I'll go over some of the teams and how they operate, and I'll show you the rental codes for them. Before I have to start getting rid of these teams, I always make new teams all the time. Subscribe to the channel if you're into that kind of thing. I always take suggestions and recommendations from people, and you're only allowed to share 5 teams by one account at a time. I could make another account and transfer those Pokemon over and then have multiple share things, but I'm too lazy to do that, and that's a lot of work, and people have a short attention span anyway. So I thought maybe this would be a good idea to just, go through some of these teams and make sure people get the rental codes while they're hot. Remember, please, that all of these teams have videos in which I am battling with these teams. I'm not going to be battling in this video today. But if you're interested in seeing any of these teams in action, literally all those links are in the description below. You can also find the Pokepastes there. And if you can't remember the rental code, you don't catch it while it's on screen here in a minute, all the rental codes, all the Pokepastes, all of these teams are currently available. So it's all in their individual video links, and they're all in the description. So go check those out if you're interested in that. And if you wouldn't mind liking, commenting, subscribing, as I said, you might be interested in this channel if you're clicking on this video. You know, a little support goes a long way. I do appreciate it. I'm making teams all the time, and I'm taking suggestions, like I said. So if you have ideas for teams, drop it in the comments below. And also in the comments below, let me know which of these teams is your favorite, if you have been using them, or which teams you're most excited to use. I'd be interested to hear that as well. And yeah, let's talk through some of these teams, shall we? Our first team we're going to talk about is actually the first team that I made in Series 9, and it is the first team that will be deleted as soon as I make a new team. So maybe like even 2 days after this video premieres, this team might already be gone. If you're interested in this team at all, type that rental code into your Switch as soon as possible. Remember, you can always keep a team after I take it down, as long as you made sure to, put the rental code in your game before I did that. I digress. This is my Gmax Butterfree team. The whole idea of this team is to just try and support the offensive monsters in Gyarados and Mamoswine. Butterfree is really good at speeding up your team by going for, max airstreams or electro webs. It's good at putting your opponents to sleep and allowing your Gyarados to get a max airstream for itself. And also, obviously, if you're going Gigantamax Butterfree, you can also, befuddle your opponents. They could get paralyzed, they could go to sleep via that, or they could just get annoyed in any other kind of way. And in doing that, you're helping your Gyarados or your Mamoswine in the back potentially sweep, especially that Gyarados, because with Moxie, Gyarados is really a threat in Series 9, now that a lot of those water types have disappeared from Series 8, by which I mean Kyogre, mostly. You do got to look out for Regielekis. That's why Togedemaru's here. Togedemaru's a really great support mon, and also hits pretty hard too in its own right. There's just a lot of ways to slow down your opponent and speed yourself up. Obviously, you have the Prankster Tailwind on Whimsicott. You have the Nuzzle on Togedemaru. You just have so many options in terms of trying to, get a leg up on your opponent in your speed stat over theirs. It's a really fun team to use. I love using Butterfree. Obviously, I'm a Gen 1. I started in Gen 1, so it's really fun to use Butterfree, and it's especially fun to use Gyarados because in a lot of my games, I did end up Dynamaxing Gyarados, and that thing is just a monster, and it's so fun to use, even from way back in the day. Incineroar's on this team because that's real good. Haven't said it yet. Should go without saying. And the Assault Vest on Mamoswine helps you live a lot of stuff as well. And it's Oblivious, which I believe means it can't get intimidated. It's been a while since I used this team, to be honest. In the life of a Poketuber, it's been like 2 weeks. But, that's a million years as far as I'm concerned. And it's obviously there to help you deal with, like, Landorus, right? Deal with any kinds of flying or electric types that might otherwise give Gyarados some trouble. I said flying. Sure, flying. But also rock types. That's what Gyarados is mostly scared of. this is my Butterfree team, free. Be sure to check it out for yourself. I hope you enjoy it and let me know if you use it. I'd love to hear about it. Go Butterfree. The next team I'm going to talk about is my Gmax Kingler team. It was also very highly requested. Butterfree won a poll saying, which Gmax Pokemon do you want me to use? First, Butterfree won that poll, but Kingler was shortly behind and was also requested a couple of times on Twitter. I am on Twitter, by the way. Follow me. Request Pokemon that way. You can totally do that. And it's a similar idea, to be honest. It's after I made the Butterfree team, I really loved how it handled the whole speed thing. And Kingler's signature Gmax move, Foam Burst, slows down your opponent. It harshly lowers the speed of both Pokemon on the opponent's side of the field, right? So it really, really supports Pokemon like Crocodile and Dracozolt, who want to be faster than your opponent and who benefit from being able to hit first. Crocodile can get Moxie boosts, just like that Gyarados could. And if you are able to get, Foam Bursts on your opponent, or Airstreams with your Celesteela, or T-Waves on your opponent to make Crocodile faster than them that way, Crocodile can really, really set up and can sweep in some really awesome ways. And similarly, Dracozolt, this is the thing about all of the Galar fossils, is they all have these signature moves, Bolt Beak, Vicious Rend. If you hit your opponent before that opponent hits you, you do like twice as much damage. And Dracozolt has always been good at that. And that's way easier when your opponent is -2 speed, turns out. Kind of fun. A little mechanic there, in case you weren't aware. It has Celesteela on the team as well. Celesteela is there just to support. It's a really nice type balance Pokemon. We didn't have a flying type or a steel type previously. And this is my favorite Celesteela set. You're going to see it one or two more times in this video alone. Air Slash, Flash Cannon, Meteor Beam, Protect. It's really great. I love using the Celesteela set. And I also love Liepard. I don't get to use Liepard that often. And the nice thing about Liepard is it gets Prankster Screech, so that you can support your Kingler, support your Crocodile, support your Dracozolt. Lots of physical attackers to take advantage of those potential defense drops that Liepard can priority set on your opponent. Also, you have Copycat on this team, so your answer to Trick Room is to actually just, if you have Liepard on the field when they go for Trick Room, if it's a lead Trick Room situation, oftentimes you can just click Copycat right after the turn that they went for Trick Room, and immediately you will reverse Trick Room on the start of that turn 2, or whatever turn it is at the point in time that happens. And it's a nice sneaky little way to do it. A lot of people don't see it coming. They forget that it's a thing, or they never knew. And Liepard's good at that. And there's an Indeedee with Colbur Berry. It's a defensive Indeedee. I really love that Indeedee set too. That's one that I use in a lot of my teams. And it's really great. Follow Me support, Expanding Force, Helping Hand, Mystical Fire. Nothing too crazy there, but it is physically defensive. This is my Kingler team. I hope you like it. Yeah, have fun using it. This is the team that will be deleted second. So even within the week that I release this video, this Kingler team will probably be gone. So get it while it is hot. All right? Type it in your Switch now if you like it at all. Do it now, even if you're not going to use it right now. Just do it. Kingler team. Up next is my Gmax Copperajah team. This team is a little harder to use just in the fact that it is all physical attackers, and it definitely relies on Riolu going for Prankster coaching, and also potential Trick Room, right? Dusclops going for Trick Room is sort of the best way to make sure that Copperajah is set up the best that it can be. You can go for Bulldoze to further slow down your Copperajah. It is min speed. And obviously pop your weakness policy. Copperajah's signature Gmax move is called Steel Surge, I think. It sets steel type Stealth Rocks, which, comes in handy in terms of if a fairy type switches in, it's going to take extra damage, or a rock type or an ice type switches in, it's going to take extra damage. That's fine. It's honestly really nice for if your opponent, has a Focus Sash in the back. It breaks that, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. That's mostly the reason why it's good. It's not because the typing is really all that special. Rock type Stealth Rocks are honestly probably more useful because there's so many flying types in the meta. And there's like, Regieleki probably resists steel type Stealth Rocks, but it would still break a Focus Sash, and that's really all you're trying to do with it. Riolu obviously is so good. I mentioned it already, but going for Prankster coaching into Copperajah and Thundurus, and even Rillaboom if you need to. And sure, yeah, Incineroar as well. If you really, really needed to, you could coaching into your Incineroar. And Vacuum Wave is another way to pop Weakness Policy in case you're not going for a Trick Room situation. There are a couple times where I found, it would be easier to put Thundurus in the back, not go for hard Trick Room, but still, Gigantamax Copperajah. That's a thing you can do. It's a heavy metal Copperajah too, by the way. So if you're not Gigantamaxing it, Heavy Slam does a lot of damage because this is a super, super weighty, super heavy Copperajah. Weight is not something you typically think about in Pokemon, but it is actually a mechanic. It is actually a thing in the game, and Heavy Metal makes Heavy Slam hit so much harder than a normal stab move would. It's really, really good. Just make sure you're not using it on your opponent's Dynamax Pokemon because it will not work. Weight-based moves weirdly don't work on Dynamax or Gigantamaxed Pokemon. Because we have the Assault Vest and the Thundurus, and Assault Vest is my favorite kind of Rillaboom to use, this Rillaboom is a little bit special in that it is a Grassy Surge Acrobatics set. You can surprise your opponent by leading with it. You get a defense boost immediately, and if you were to lead Rillaboom and Riolu, you could even go for coaching into your Rillaboom and get an Airstream boost. Really surprise your opponent. Rillaboom doesn't run Acrobatics that often. An Airstream from Rillaboom is not something you see all that often, but could be pretty devastating to a team if in one turn suddenly your Rillaboom is incredibly fast, strong, and defensive. In one turn you could get 2 defense boosts on your Rillaboom thanks to the Grassy Seed and the coaching, and you could get an attack boost from the coaching, and you could get a speed boost from the Airstream. Tell me that's not devastating. It's devastating. Gmax Copperajah team. This team is the 3rd team that will be deleted if I get around to a new team at that point. I don't know what team that would be. I have 2 new teams planned, but this 3rd team will take this slot. If it's interesting to you, definitely check it out. Copperajah. Up next, we have a super niche, super fun Toxitricity team. If you haven't seen it already, it's really weird. It's very fun to use because it does surprise opponents. But it's also probably the hardest team here to use just because it does rely on boosts. It doesn't rely on boosts from the Kling, but the reason you're going to use this team over a different Toxitricity team is so that you can try and use the Kling. And really, you can only use the Kling. I would recommend only bringing the Kling in a situation where your opponent does not have a ground type or, at least a super offensive ground type. The deal here is that Toxitricity has the plus ability. Kling has the minus ability. That allows these two to power up their special attacking moves while they're both on the field at the same time. Kling's a physical attacker, so it doesn't really benefit from the plus-minus. It's really there to support the Toxitricity. And then Kling also has a move called Gear Up, which you also never see. It gives everybody on the field that has plus or minus with another Pokemon that has plus or minus on the field, so that has to be, they both have to be on the field for this to work. It gives them a +1 attack boost and a +1 special attack boost. And the Kling does naturally outspeed the Toxitricity. So on the same turn, ideally you already have a Tailwind up or you've gotten an Icy Wind off on your opponent, whatever it is. You can go for Gear Up, you can boost your Toxitricity, and they're effectively hitting your opponent for +2 special attacking damage. And that's pretty devastating, especially because, Gmax Toxitricity has its signature Gmax move, which can paralyze your opponent. It can also poison your opponent. Ideally, you're getting those paralysis off, but you can also go for like a really hard max strike off of Boom Burst. At +2, that's no joke. You're really going to smack your opponent with that, and that's going to lower their speed too. And if they don't take out Toxitricity, at that point, they could be in trouble. They could be in danger of getting swept. We have some things to try and, divert some of Toxitricity's threats. We have a Follow Me Togekiss. Obviously, a ground type is not going to want to click, Max Quake. If Togekiss is on the field, it would be so easy to get Follow Me'd. and not get that Max Quake into the Toxtricity. We also have Cresselia with Ally Switch so that you can, try and catch ground moves that way. And Klinklang has Ally Switch and an Air Balloon to try and do the same thing. Lots of options to try and stop ground moves from working. And I'll tell you this, somehow your opponent's still going to get them off. You're still going to be devastated by a couple of one-hit KOs in your Toxtricity, especially when you first start using this team. But if you become comfortable with it, you'll know which Pokemon to bring, and you'll know which Pokemon to put in the back. And honestly, I'd recommend even leading with the Celesteela is not, or not the Celesteela, the Cresselia is not min speed, so it actually can get pretty quick. I mean, even under Tailwind, I'm pretty sure it might outspeed Landorus. And Icy Wind is obviously not Landorus's friend. So if you're having trouble with that while using this team, I'd recommend leading with Cresselia, getting some Icy Winds first before Toxtricity comes out. Or obviously trying to get up a Tailwind. That would be great too. This is my Toxtricity team. I hope you like it. It's really fun. Shout out again to William, who is one of my subscribers, whose idea it was, who inspired the the Klinklang Toxtricity plus minus situation. It's really fun to use, a little hard to use, but the rental code's right there for you. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Fourth team that will be deleted. Toxitricity. And finally, we have Cheesesteak, which is my G-Max Machamp team. It may be because it's the most recent team that I've shared and built at time of recording, but this team is so much fun. It really, really is. I think it's the most fun, and it might even be the best team of this group, mostly because, yeah, there's a gimmick in the fact that you can boost your critical hit ratio by using Machamp's signature G-Max move, Cheese Strike, but so many of these Pokemon, honestly, don't even need the Focus Energy boost to get crits. It's really fun when your opponent tries to set up Reflect or Light Screen or tries to get Intimidates on you, and it just doesn't matter because you're critting all the time anyway. It's really, really devastating to an opponent when their way of slowing you down is by setting up their own defenses or lowering your attack or special attack stat with Snarls, and you're just blowing through them anyway because every move you hit is a crit. It's kind of crazy. And I don't even see it as that scummy because honestly, you're putting in the work, and I made sure to build this team in a way that most of the time it would be you'd get hacks for not getting the crit. You know what I mean? Like, more often than not, Pokemon like Togekiss and Absol are critting. It's kind of crazy. And especially after one Cheese Strike boost, I'm pretty sure a lot of these moves should be critting 100% of the time. It's kind of wild. Obviously, if you get a crit boost on your Inteleon, that's great because Sniper will do extra special, extra hard crit damage. So that's nice there. But I will say the biggest surprise on this team is Absol. Absol is so much fun. It gets Super Luck just like Togekiss. This one has a Life Orb though. Absol has a base 130 attack stat. Did you know that? It gets Stab off of Night Slash, which has a high crit ratio. So with Super Luck and with Night Slash, you're critting most of the time. With a Cheese Strike boost, you're critting, I think, all of the time. It's kind of crazy. And Stone Edge has a higher crit ratio. So with Super Luck, Stone Edge is critting a lot of the time. And with that base 130 attack stat and the Life Orb boost, you can really smack Moltres out of the sky, smack Thundurus out of the sky, smack Zapdos out of the sky. It's so good for hitting a lot of these flying type threats that Machamp otherwise wouldn't want to deal with. And nobody knows what Absol does. So it's so surprising most of the time. Sucker Punch is also really, really great and hits super hard with Stab and Life Orb boost. You can really surprise some people with Sucker Punch. You don't got to worry about Regielekis as much. You don't got to worry about who are the fast threats. Like a Venusaur under Sun. You could Sucker Punch things with, a pretty decent amount of health left and still take them out. Absol has been so much fun to use in this team. There's the Celesteela that you've already seen. It basically does the same thing. It's a really, really nice type, synergy with this team. Again, we didn't have a Steel type. We had a Flying type in Togekiss, but Flying's really good for this team makeup. And Togekiss is the same Togekiss from the Toxtricity team. This one Dynamaxes as well. They all Dynamax, but I'm just saying on this team, you might want to Dynamax it. You don't even have to bring Machamp to all the games. It's fun to bring Machamp to the games, but Celesteela and Togekiss are also really, really great Dynamax options for you, especially if you can get Airstream boosts on your Absol. I'm telling you, that thing is going to surprise you. And Energy Ball on the Whimsicott, just to really try and even out some of those type matchups that you might come up against. You know, there's no electric or grass moves on this team otherwise, so Energy Ball is there, you know, to help with any annoying water types you might come across. They exist. This is my Gmax Machamp team, probably the team I'm most excited about. That's why Machamp is front and center on this thumbnail. And yeah, thanks everybody for requesting Machamp. Very, very popular recommendation. I'm glad you did, because I had a lot of fun making it, and I'm having a lot of fun using it. Gmax Machamp team. Those are all 5 of the teams that I currently have available on my Series 9 availability rental code list. Please let me know if you use these teams. I hope you enjoy them. Again, the order of deletion is Gmax Butterfree, Gmax Kingler, Gmax Copperajah, Gmax Toxitricity, and then Gmax Machamp will be the last one to be deleted. That won't happen until my 10th Series 9 team. And, you know, even if these teams are already gone by the time you see this video, maybe they've been able to inspire you. I'm glad that I was able to show, you know, all of their move sets and their items and everything like, and their abilities and everything like that in those little team previews. Let me know if you want specific sets. I wouldn't mind, you know, giving you an idea if I can remember which sets some of these Pokemon are. However, remember, all of these teams are linked in the description below, so you can go to their original video, and they all have Pokepastes as well. So that will actually give you the stat breakdown of these Pokemon as well. In case you didn't get there in time, you can still use this team on Showdown. You can still use it to make your own teams. You know, a little bit of an inspiration there. And hopefully, you know, if you're too late, you'll still be able to do that and still be able to have some fun with the teams. If you've never seen the channel before, if you've never seen one of these videos, definitely subscribe. I hope this, you know, if it weren't already apparent, I make teams all the time. I'm doing Series 9 teams all the time. And, you know, right now is no exception. So subscribe. You might enjoy yourself here on the channel. And join the Berm Firm Discord. Link to that is in the description below. Lots more rental codes over there being made by members of the Berm community. So you do have even more options over there, and it's all free. So that's a great thing, isn't it? I stream every Thursday night at 8. I'm usually streaming with the teams that I made that week. I play Pokemon Snap. There's videos of that, streams, VODs of that on the channel as well. And I'm currently doing a competitive Pokemon Nuzlocke. It's a Nuzlocke where I have to go on the ranked ladder with the team that I have in game at the end of every gym battle. If that interests you, I have a couple of episodes available for that as well. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, all these teams are linked in the description below. You can go watch them in action in those videos. If you're curious, let me know which team you're most excited about. Let me know which team you've enjoyed using the most. And until next time, my name is Berm. See you later.